What's up? Thanks for coming back through. Today we're going to be reviewing one that I didn't expect to have in the collection. I didn't go out looking for it, but it turned out to be such a bargain that I had to get it. I mean, had to. Yeah, it was an obligation that I must get the finest footwear. Today we're going to be talking about the CLOUDBOOM Strike. Very unique shoe due to one particular feature, and that's going to we'll get into a bit of midsole and a bit of insole together. We really don't talk a lot about insoles, but today it's going to matter, and it matters to the stack height, it matters to the feeling, and it also matters to the stability. So let's get into it. On has various ranges of shoes, various ranges of products, and truthfully they're almost a little bit disconnected. They're very high-end running shoes, and they're mid-range sort of everyday trainers, and then they've got this sort of kind of country club chic line that a lot of people wear. It's super popular. They've almost taken the place of boat shoes with their very slim midsole on and their Cloud Tech. But once they've gotten into the more performance running space, a lot of that tech minimizes and they become more uniform with other brands that do very similar products at that range. I know that's a lot of gobbledygook. We'll get into it. It's just the observation that On has had a marketing issue ever since their first shoes, which got them huge popularity and acclaim. And then they stepped into other ranges and it didn't quite hit. I think they've got a good one with this, but the price point on their upper ranges is a little bit wild. The CLOUDBOOM Strike is the faster of the two CLOUDBOOMs that are out right now. CLOUDBOOM Max is sort of an everyday trainer, marathon shoe for those who are more recreational with their running. CLOUDBOOM Strike is meant to be their top end, fastest racing shoe. You can train in it for sure, but the features of it definitely lend itself to race day. Upper midsole, outsole, like we always do. One piece construction, very minimal sewing around the upper. See it right there. You can see it at the front, a little bit on the side there. There's underlays to provide some structure, but I will say that there's not a lot of structure. This is literally kind of a booty construction, very light, meant to be almost non-existent as you're performing. It feels pretty darn good, although I went down a full size because of the way that the upper is shaped. It almost has, it's seemingly like an Asian inspired look where everything is a little more articulated. And you'll see that once we get to the outsole, because everything seems split across that hemisphere. And it does start with the asymmetrical look in the upper. Laces are a little bit asymmetrical. Definitely the underlays underneath this mesh are asymmetrical. And the particular leaning of the shoe or the balance of the shoe shows up in that shape. Feels good in some instances, feels a little bit unstable in others. And I know I'm mentioning something that's more midsole, outsole, but it definitely starts at the asymmetrical look of the upper and the construction of the upper. Breathable, super breathable. Everything is wide open. Every place you see color, every place you see underlay or mesh, this thing is a wide open shoe. So you're really relying on those underlays for that structure. Around the collar, there's a little bit of no sew. I don't know why they use sewing, maybe to keep the pads in place. Let me get those laces out of the way for you. You can see they've sewn the ankle and Achilles pads into place. It doesn't bother, but it's a little bit curious as to why they had to sew them down. I think they could have done that without. They seem to work, at least on the sides, but there is going to be some heel gappage and some heel slippage because there's no padding around the actual collar that locks you in. They went with a no-sew on that part. Even with the little tab there, it's just a glued down tab of material. Kind of unique. I don't know how functional it is. I've tried it. It didn't seem to give me a great pull. That's not to knock it. It just seems like it's unnecessary. You will get some spacing there. So as your heel slips in, once you get past that collar, the lacing system doesn't really pull that collar tight. So you're going to have a little bit of heel slippage or gappage if you don't have particularly thick ankles. I don't know of a more polite way to say that. If your foot and ankles are very narrow, there's just no way to fill that out. There's just no way. It wasn't uncomfortable. And for me and the way I use most of my shoes, I didn't feel it because I'm mostly up here in the laces. For construction, I'm a mid to 4 foot striker, so I wasn't sinking into the heel very much to see a lot of rubbing. But be warned, could be a problem. Heel counter is there. There's actually a strong heel counter underneath right there where that gray shows up. Upper is comfortable, but here is where things do begin to get a little bit unstable. As that asymmetrical upper begins to connect to the midsole, you start to feel an outward push. The only thing holding you in place, and we talked about this on the last video, On has made their logo in this particular case a functional logo. That big O is holding you in on the side. That is a big piece of vinyl, and it is glued on there. It's not even fused. That's straight up glued onto the material. And so that provides a little bit of lateral support at that forefoot. Again, the asymmetry, I can understand why, but seems a little bit overdone. I didn't feel it on the big toe. I didn't feel it in most of my gait. I didn't feel a reason for it, should I say. But it looks good. I'll give it that. It looks really good. The tongue is actually gusseted. Good. But it's gusseted asymmetrically once again. The sewn spots there actually hold the tongue down to the laces, to the lacing system. And so you can open the tongue up a little bit on that inside. The outside is gusseted or sewn down a little higher up on that lacing system. So you get credit for gusseting. I don't mind it at all. Some people might mind that though. So again, just something to be aware of. There are very subtle, unique spots in how this shoe is constructed. The laces are actually very, very unique. I've seen this on other materials, other items, socks, other things of that nature, dresses, clothes, shirts, where there's a little bit of rubbery grip to help it stick to your skin and not move. Well, the laces have a rubberized component. Those little waves are actually rubberized material on the laces. They do lock you in when you pull and get your tension set. They stay in place pretty well. I don't know if that will be more cumbersome or if it's going to be a problem later, but that little rubberized component actually does help. Plenty of construction and support along the lines based to those underlays, and then you got that lateral support on that outside of that shoe with the functional logo that On has made their O into on this particular shoe. You need it. Here's why. On has mixed the functionality of midsole and insole together with what they're calling their bounce board. Yeah, I'd say a good 1/3 of the cushioning, maybe even more, is in the actual insole. So there's a couple different materials at play. That material on top is supposedly for a little bit of forefoot grip and comfort. because this midsole is all foam. Now, it has an S-curve because once you have that out of there, you are actually sitting right on top of the carbon fiber plate, the S-curved plate that runs down the middle of this shoe. So part of your midsole cushioning is here, and part of your midsole cushioning is actually inside the shoe. So it kind of reminds me of the Kobe's a few years ago, a few iterations ago, maybe about 10, 15 years ago now. The Jordan 2012s and the Kobe versions actually had removable cushioning that would go in so you could customize. That's what this is. I don't know that On has any plans to allow customization, but your insole is removable and your insole is part of the cushioning system. So you can see right there how high that ridge comes up once you insert the insole into the shoe. It's very, very unique. It's comfortable, but what that does is it raises the center mass of the shoe. So you are now sitting on top of the foam, on top of the insole, and because of that ridge, you're sitting very high in the shoe. Your stability is highly dependent upon that upper, which we already know is asymmetrical. So you're already being pushed to supinate a little bit. I had to wear these for the first day or two with no socks to wear somewhat of a groove into the cushioning and allow my foot to have a place to settle, because when I first put them on and I first had my running socks on, I was slipping toward the outside because you're very, very high up on the cushioning in the shoe. It's unique. I got used to it. These are going to work out fine. But that is something to be aware of with this shoe. I didn't realize it until I had gotten home. I didn't really do any research on the shoe because here's the thing. This is a pricey shoe, near $300 at $275. I got this shoe on sale at a local regional retailer called Shields. Shout out to the boys at Shields. I got these for $130. Now you understand why I say I had to? Just saying. Just saying. So it was a great pickup, but I didn't research it. I didn't know much about it. I'm finding this out later, where a lot of the heel cushioning is in the midsole, but a lot of the forefoot cushioning is in the insole. So you've got a dual purpose sort of midsole insole combo happening. It's pretty unique. Gonna give it a shot. The carbon fiber plate is in there, but it's sandwiched against the insole directly. Hopefully that insole is thick enough where you feel comfort as well as the support and propulsion of the carbon fiber plate. Super unique. They talk about their cloud tech, but at this point, when you get to these levels, that's performative. That is just there to remind you that this is on cloud, and that's how they got famous with their sectioned out holes in the midsole. This isn't doing much right there for you. It's just in there to make sure that their proprietary tech is mentioned. It got dumped into their technological shoe. For the outsole, the grip is pretty standard. It's nothing extravagant. I think you get enough grip. I got enough grip on concrete. I haven't tried these on treadmill or other surfaces. Seem to stick just fine. Pretty Spartan in terms of its grip pattern, but there's plenty of rubber there. Starting at that toe, like we said, let's see if I can get that for you. And it rolls right down. You never lose that center channel in the shoe. That thing is there the entire way. And so again, stability wise, you get to the outsole of the shoe. For torsional effect, I can see how that would let your foot move naturally. But there's a carbon fiber plate inside, so I don't know that you need that. So maybe it's just weight savings. I would like to have a little more shoe on the ground, but you're really only missing that center channel. It's a great shoe. I think it's going to work out. It just takes some getting used to. Their material, I do believe, is, they say it's a hyperfoam. So I'm gonna guess, they didn't have a lot of material I could find on it. I'm gonna guess that it's got some nitrogen infused aspects to it. That's what it feels like on the bounce back. Same for the insole. It looks and feels a little bit nitrogen infused. But that is the On CLOUDBOOM Strike. It's unique. And getting it for $130 allowed me to test it out for you guys and try it. I dig. We'll see where it goes from there. Thanks for coming through. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.